What is going on, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, a beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. As always, we got the co-executive directors of Vibes, Bridget Flores and Jose Monterosa in the building.
I need a soundboard.
We
need a soundboard so badly.
I just want to be pressing buttons, making music.
We can get that approved.
I feel like that might get out of control. Like y'all are just gonna
we have to limit it like 5 presses per episode.
Right.
Julio gets 4 buttons, I get 4.
We'll run that over. We'll have a production meeting. We'll get that.
Talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off camera. But today it's our first in-person guest of the new year.
Yes.
I'm excited for this. This is where we bring in the air horns. We can do that in post. But today we have a multi-talented, multi-hyphenate. He's a music artist. He's master of ceremonies, your favorite MC's favorite MC. He's an inventor. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We got Devin Kirtz in the building. What's going on, Devin?
No, I appreciate that intro, man. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Yeah. Thriving. We're here. We're doing it.
Yes. We're outside. We're inside, but we're outside.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like we're technically out of the house, so we are outside.
We're afuera.
Yeah.
We're
Exactly.
stepping out.
Exactly.
Stepping
Yeah,
out
we could be
today.
doing this
Both
via
feet
Zoom.
out the door.
We could be doing this via Zoom. We're not. We're
different.
Thankful for that.
We're starting the year right.
Think
We're
about
starting
Zoom.
it-
I just hate people with the fake backdrops. Like, just show that your room is messy. Like,
Why do we have to
lie? Why do we have to lie?
calling me out?
Yeah, that's for real though. I had to I've had to turn off the video and throw the hoodies that are on the bed. I had to do that multiple times.
I've had a few embarrassing stories about Zoom calls and being at home, especially when I was living with my parents. My mom would I'd be on Zoom in a Zoom meeting. And my mom would be watching a novela behind me, and it was getting intense.
Which one?
I can't remember. It was some.
She'd be like, Gaviota.
Yeah, and it was getting intense in the bedroom, and someone was like, Bridget, what's going on back there?
Sorry, my mama's getting it right.
Dude.
All of a sudden you hear he kissed his sister, and he didn't know it was his sister.
They're like, can you turn your camera to the right?
Hey, wait, no, Bridget, can you actually move closer to the
yeah,
TV?
right? Can you get out the way?
No, but Devin, we did the intro. There's many different backgrounds. You're a baller as well. You play the game too. Yeah. So, but how would you describe yourself? Having been in so many different fields and whatnot. What would you say when you're introducing yourself? How what order do you put all those careers in?
That's a really good question, to be honest. My wife constantly says that too. She's like, people ask what do you do? Or what does he do? And then she'll be like, I don't know, kind of everything a little bit. I got to dabble in got lucky enough to, soccer and music were my passions growing up. And it was kind of always those two fighting each other. When I guess I could have been doing a better job of having them work together rather than fighting each other. So the direct answer, I guess, would be my first love was soccer, for sure. No doubt. My mom and grandma, that whole side of the family's from Argentina. So, I was born with, it's like a joke in Spanish, but I'll say it's I was born with 3 balls between when you're born. But yeah.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? And then, I was born with a soccer ball between my feet. And that was for sure my first love. But music has always been such a huge part of my life that when it came down to it, I was traveling, playing soccer. I was actually playing with Red Bull at the time. It's called Red Bull Wingers. They were kind of like the Harlem Globetrotter of soccer. And I would bring a ukulele. I'd bring my little mini keyboard, and I would just be making music in the hotel. And it got to a point where I had to go one or the other. I had to go 100% instead of doing 50-50. So I kind of just dove headfirst into music, and that's kind of where it rolled from there. But to be honest, those two combined is kind of what happened for me with hosting. It was I had worked with people with Nike for so long that they were doing all these Nike events, and they're like, all right, we need somebody knowledgeable about soccer who's comfy on a mic. And I just kind of dove headfirst into hosting after that. So to answer your question, I don't I don't really even know how to describe it. I kind of have to like do a whole spiel about, I played soccer, I'm in the music industry, I host, I love it. And the entrepreneurial aspect is like, it's relatively new, but I think the pandemic kind of brought that out of a lot of people where it's like, hey, we got time. Like all these ideas that we have cooking, let's make them a reality. So
today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Basketball is back, and Bet Online remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at Bet Online. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, Bet Online features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, or even golf. Head to betonline.ag, that's betonline.ag, to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Make him happen.
So in other words, he's him.
He's him.
yeah, it's weird. Sorry, that was the longest answer of all time. Even my wife could probably give a better answer than that on what I do.
This is the podcast, so this is
Hey,
this is the format for long form
Right.
answers like
Right.
that.
You know what they say? You in order to write a book, you got to live it, right? I feel
like
you're
that.
like a walking book.
I
Chapter
like
1,
that.
soccer.
Okay,
Chapter 2.
Bridget.
Oh,
You know
Bridget,
what?
Bridget's trying to get out here getting a book deal. She'll be your agent. Yeah,
Let's talk. I'm gonna help you out with that. Let's talk.
See,
entrepreneurial.
you know what? Add this to the intro.
Yeah.
Author now too.
Future author.
Yeah, 2 years from now, the story of a toxica. Toxic stories from a single lady in LA.
Bridget's trying to get her own. She's gonna flip this into her own book deal.
But wait till we turn that book into a novella too.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, we're
Then
getting
we
book
got a
deals,
Netflix
adaptations. Yeah.
series.
How to
We
find a
walking
man
the red
on
carpet.
Tinder.
Listen, there's options out here.
The next podcast. So you did soccer, music, and hosting. How'd you get into writing novellas? I'm like, well,
Long story, but
It started at Urban Pitch.
yeah.
So you're. I mean, I guess now it's been a few weeks, but fresh off a World Cup, you got to actually go to Qatar.
Went to Qatar.
Official MC of the U.S. men's national team. Obviously, there's a million different things going on with that, but
There's controversy there.
Yeah. But
Did you see Gio Reyno cuss out the coach?
yeah, this is a gotcha podcast. Actually,
Yeah.
we're here. Yeah. But no. But how did you get that gig? I mean, you're talking. You mentioned like just kind of being in the space and having that unique knowledge of soccer, being comfortable on the mic. How did that gig come
Yeah,
about?
it's a mix of actually. So I'm gonna back it up a bit. So when I was 15, I signed with a semi-pro team.
Okay.
So I'm from Long Beach, but the team was in South Central. Nike funded a bunch of money into a field, into our team in general. And
What team was that?
Le Jardín.
Oh, no, Le Jardín. Ran by
Victor, Carlos, and then shout out Robbie LaBelle, who he was with Nike for a super long time and always helped me out growing up. But a lot of people were on that team.
Yeah.
A lot of people were on that team.
crazy.
Kai Kamara started on that team. I played on that team with him when I was 15 years old. Tim Donnelly, Adriano Lima, a bunch of ballers. Like Carlos Palafox, he was the other young guy who played with me. If you guys know Carlos, and it was really, really cool. So starting over there, dude, all of a sudden I'm going so far back. Remind me of the question really quick.
So how did you get the men's
Qatar?
national?
Yeah,
Nike,
sorry.
Nike connection.
And I forgot the main guy. So Brian Phillips was on that team.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And as you guys know now, Brian Phillips owns Rad, and they're a crazy, amazing agency that he kind of took him, Tim. They started a thing called ACF. That was the first agency. And so from knowing them from playing, they're the ones who brought me into the Nike world. And then Brian branched out and also started working with US Soccer. So then he was like, okay, Devin, you want to try hosting a whole stadium gig? I started out with the women's team, and that's the easiest hosting gig of all time. These girls don't lose.
Yeah,
nasty.
Right.
And so
when was this?
this was probably about 6 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, 2017 I think was my first time hosting with the women's team, and it was so much fun, dude. We got to like travel with the women's team. Everybody on the team is really cool, and it was like a crazy experience to be able to go into stadiums and be able to do these hits where I'm used to doing events where it's cool, like you can do up to like 1,000, 2,000 people, and that's very fun. But then once you get to go to like 30, 40, 50,000 people in a stadium, and then Qatar was 90 or something like that. But it was just nothing but fun. It's like the easiest thing ever, to be honest. Like you go in the middle of the stadium, you're like, soccer, and everybody's like,
the crowd's already riled up. They're warmed up for you. It's not a hostile environment. Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of how it started. And then U.S. Soccer has so many amazing women hosts as well. So then eventually I got to transfer over and do the men's national team, and I just poured into that. I'll give you a cool fact. I have never ever lost a game hosting with the U.S. team.
What?
So I had to leave. Don't blame me for this. Yeah, I had to leave for the college football thing. I host the Big Ten as well, and that's when they lost that game and got knocked out. But I've hosted with the men's team for 4 years, and they've never lost.
Get this man in.
You know
get
what?
This man permanent
Price
hosting.
went up.
Yeah.
Price went up.
You're talking about. I mean, we're talking about all the problems that U.S. Soccer has. You know, whether it's pro-rel, pay to play, all this stuff. No, the solution is simple. Get Devin Kirtz in the building before games.
You know what? Let me hype him a bit.
Why are we? Why are we making a huge deal of all this stuff?
If you were, having a conversation with Greg and Gio, like you would be the person to bring them back together.
You know what? I can make him win, you guys.
Yeah, because he's Argentinian.
Y'all need a middleman.
He has Argentinian background. You can relate to Gio. Be like, hey, mira, che.
Boludo.
It's you. I think
we're good.
I think we found our solution.
Hey, what camera? What camera? I'm gonna look at that.
This is the man.
Too. U.S. Soccer. This is the man. Devin.
Get him.
I'm saying call me, but I just got back. Actually, don't call me for
not for 3 days. Go to Vegas.
No, do call
but
me.
Gio, reach out.
Yeah.
Come on, Gio, Greg, y'all need a middleman. I got you.
Greg, he's gonna charge us a
The mediator. He's an MC and mediator.
See, add that to the intro.
We'll go back.
Wait.
To the list.
But yeah, that's how it started, man. So it started from playing people I knew on my team, and then as we all inevitably got older, they got into parts of the soccer world, and then we just kind of keep working with each other. So that's how it happened.
So to backtrack a little bit, how was it playing with that Red Bull team that was like the Harlem Globetrotters?
That was crazy.
Because you guys played against real professional teams, and how did that go?
Yeah, we did. And actually, I saw you guys had, he's my dog, BJ, Brian Jordan.
Brian Jordan.
I saw you had him on here too. I got to play against Brian when he was on the Timbers before they were MLS.
Right, yeah.
So we went everything from like playing from the Timbers before their MLS to getting to play, like we played Galaxy, Chivas USA when that was a team. And we got to play like MLS teams. The other teams that were even traveling in, there were British teams. I played against Saprissa from Costa Rica. And it was cool, man. It like, honestly, I went so long, and especially like signing on the semi-pro team when I was 15, it just turned into like such work for so long that I was losing a little bit of the zest that when Red Bull came along and did that team, it just like brought me back to life with soccer. So that was cool.
So you guys had tricks going on while playing against pros?
Right.
Do you have like a favorite memory with the team?
Honestly, one of my favorite memories, like the traveling and everything was super cool. Like, to be honest, I started when I was 17.
He's married now, guys. Married. We're not gonna say that story no more.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's my second favorite memory. No, it was. I can't necessarily like pin it down, but I will say this. We went to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then we were going to the Metrodome, and Galaxy was playing against Minnesota's team. I want to say it's like Minnesota Thunder. It wasn't I think they were PDL as well. And so we went there, but Galaxy was playing them the day after, and it was the year that Beckham signed. I was a little bit, you know what? It's out of pure jealousy. I was a little bit of a Beckham hater at first. I was like, this guy's good, but like, watch, he's not bro. This guy is nasty. Like we ended up eventually getting to play against Galaxy. Dude, if you give this guy half of an inch with his right foot, I've never seen anything like it. Like this guy, his style, and above how good he is, he might be the number one nicest person I've ever met. Damn. So like I'm seeing how he's acting with people, how he's acting with us, and and I was like, damn it, he's so nice. I can't even. He's so nice and he's so good, and he, like I can't hate on him at all.
He just came from Real Madrid that year. He was top of his game. Like he was rated with top 10 players of the world around that time.
I know,
crazy,
bro. This guy is he deserves every penny he's ever gotten.
Yeah.
He's as good as everybody says he is. He's as nice as everybody says he is. Honestly, I'm married, but this guy's as hot as everybody says he is. Like this guy,
objectively.
Yeah,
come on,
bro.
Like,
come on. This guy, he is. So that one of my favorite memories was getting to like meet and play against Beckham, and then be like, okay, this guy's the real deal.
People forget that Beckham was CR7 before CR7
but
was CR7.
but on top of it, like he's one of the rare sports figures that has like 100% like approval rating. Like,
I
like
totally
I mean,
agree.
you were a Beckham hater, but like you're quick to flip over. Like
I hated
normally,
because I was
Hey,
jealous.
hey, quick to flip over.
hey, come on, man. See, we cannot continue to have this happening. Last week you said some wild stuff.
He's just getting more and more.
He needs to get back on the sauce, is what it is. It's dry January, like you know what I mean. Like he's on edge. He's on edge. He's taking out his vices on other. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
DM me
before I was really interrupted. But I mean, like like he's like. Like it's hard. Like normally, like when like a lot of people don't like whatever Ronaldo, a lot of people don't like Messi. You can't convince them otherwise.
No.
Like it's hard to get a Ronaldo hater to be like, hey, you know what, that guy's actually pretty good.
Also, I do want to touch on that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's gonna agree, but the debate's over.
Yes.
I don't want to
Definitely.
hear one more word about it. I don't want to hear one more word about that anymore. The debate's over. All you CR7 fans, the debate's over. There's one goal.
That part.
And it's Messi.
Let's go for the top five because like I feel like number one is not debatable, but I think the last four.
Well, number one is still debatable,
No,
but
it's not.
Messi versus Ronaldo,
Yeah,
that's
Messi
not
versus
debatable.
No,
number one is
Messi-
still
no,
number
Messi
one is still
definitely.
debatable.
Messi.
Yeah.
Messi's still the best. Okay, you know what?
So like all right, so let me give you my top five so you can
hit
see.
me.
So it'll be Messi, Maradona, Pelé, CR7, Zidane.
Okay, I mean that's
You can
solid.
the four in the back you can, and I wouldn't disagree with you guys, but number one is gonna be Messi.
Yeah. No one. I
that.
don't think.
So
He's won every title. That,
no. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's debatable. I'm saying you can debate Maradona and
I wanna
Pelé.
respect your
Both have GOAT status.
Rest in
But when
peace,
it comes,
Pelé.
rest in peace.
R.I.P.
But when it comes to the CR7 Messi debate, which is, I mean, in my opinion, was already kind of put to bed with the performance levels in the last few years. Granted, CR7's a little bit older, but we can get it. Like this is a whole nother.
Also,
stuff
one of
we can
them's
get into.
playing and one of them's not.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
One of them won the World Cup.
One of them didn't.
One of them did.
all right, so
but the top
to be
spot,
devil's
the
advocate-
number one spot is still like you can still talk about. It's not like Messi is undisputed. I think he is.
So, all right, so-
but I'm willing to hear arguments for Maradona.
because
and
Pelé, all right, three World Cups, amazing, but due to like racial stuff, he really didn't get out of Brazil and test that European market.
Because he didn't need to though. Like he was playing on Santos, and like Santos was the best team in the world when he was playing in Santos.
Also, Pelé pulled the Beckham before Beckham pulled the Beckham.
He came to
the
US.
Yeah. Shout out to Cosmos.
New York Cosmos,
Shout out to
yep.
Cosmos.
Come on, that's
Bro, the
bro.
NASL
Also,
is-
those jerseys are hard.
Dude, the whole
Those jerseys
we did
are
a story.
stupid.
Yeah, they're
Like
Admiral,
green
the
and yellow,
Admiral
yeah.
jerseys. Like,
Yeah.
the whole NASL kits from like the 70s, bro. Like
They
the
were
LA
nasty.
Aztecs, fire.
Bro, the U.S. jerseys even from
yeah,
back then.
yeah.
I don't know. I think
crazy.
that '94 World Cup had the sickest jerseys.
Bro. 94 and then 98 World Cup had the sickest video game
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
That's the best FIFA to me. N64, you go indoor. The goalies kind of work like half the time. Sometimes you're shooting, they're just like still standing there. You're
Yeah,
like, what are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
I want to touch on that though really quick. So Argentino, and this is gonna,
Muchachos.
but this is gonna be controversial.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
So
Ooh.
I think Messi is the best player to ever live. And then this will show you that I'm being a little non-biased. but he's not my favorite player that's ever lived. My number one favorite player that's ever lived by far is Dino. Ronaldinho is the most entertaining, has been the most joyful. Like I've never fallen in love with soccer
definitely.
like I have when I watch Ronaldinho play. It's just different. Like this guy is different. His touch is different. Messi, don't get me wrong, he's the best. And he's by far my second favorite player that I've ever watched play.
I feel like Ronaldinho has like charisma to his game.
It's like there's like
You're talking to him and it's like a social thing.
It's like something. I swear to God, I have chills.
You do?
Like actual, just like thinking about like how cool that was when like Jogo Bonito came out and stuff
Those
like
commercials
that. Right?
were iconic.
It was next
Iconic.
level, but like his love for the game with the dancing and everything, I was just like,
No, yeah, that was
that.
Pure entertainer. Like it's hard to beat. It's hard. It's really hard to beat.
He is,
you
and that's one thing that he has had and still has, to be honest, that Messi doesn't. But Messi is the greatest to me. The greatest.
He's been so good for so many years too.
He's the best player that has ever
Stayed
played this
healthy,
game.
you know.
Because
Phenomenal.
phenomenal.
That's it.
Ronaldinho, they all retired like around 33.
Yeah, Phenomena and Ronaldinho both had a lot of injury problems. A lot of people say that are not the original Ronaldo is their GOAT.
Retired at 33, and then Messi won the World Cup. Put the team on his back at 34.
Yeah,
No, 35.
35.
It's a
35.
testament longevity. Like longevity. People will like somehow use that against people. Like the LeBron debate. Like they're saying, oh, it's just because he's he's had such a long career. It's like yeah, of course. Like that's part of what makes an athlete so great is their ability to. Because I mean, granted, there's some things that you get lucky or you're blessed with certain things, but I mean, staying healthy is like.
Bro, Jordan came back at that age.
Yeah,
you see what he did on the Wizards?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Hey, but like,
Come
all
on,
right,
we're not-
I was a Messi hater for years because I was like, no, it's all because like I was the biggest Iniesta fan ever.
Okay.
So like I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I was like, I say like everybody, like, why do you like it? Because that guy was, I just like the smoothness.
You're
like,
a Real Madrid fan?
yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan, but Iniesta was.
That was great. This is great.
No, but
great
like-
That's why
episode.
he's on
No,
that
but you gotta
side.
give credit what credit is due. Like,
Sure.
like you say, Ronaldinho was your favorite player ever. Like, I have two that for me are like top there: Iniesta and Marcelo. Because I was a
Marcelo's
right back,
fire.
left back.
Yeah,
I was
Marcelo's
like,
fire.
so I was like Marcelo changed. Everybody's looking for that outside back now. But like my favorite player to watch at all times, Iniesta. Just how smooth he was with the ball. Like that guy looked like he was never in pressure. So like same thing, like how you fell in love with Ronaldinho. Like I fell in love with the game as Iniesta even more.
Yeah.
Iniesta, we got Iniesta almost involved with the ball, and he was going to be the face of the ball.
No
Because
way.
Iniesta is one of my favorites too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, respect for that, because that
Yeah, he's a
he's
Smoothness.
Come on, like exactly. Like there's something about like watching somebody make something so difficult look so simple.
Yeah. It
And
looked so
that's
effortless.
he was the epitome of that. And so when I found out he was like interested in being like the face of the ball, I was like, yo, let's go 100% pull the trigger. Like, hey, what does he want? Bruh.
He's getting stupid paid. He's still playing in Japan right now. He's getting
He's like,
like
isn't he
stupid
player
paid.
coach?
This guy is getting paid. Like when they said the number, I was like, oh well,
That's nice.
that's really that's amazing, and I really appreciate it. But there's no chance on earth that we'd have to sell 1 million of these before we could do that. No, but he deserves it though. Like, of course, his price should go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
have been so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, while we're here, let's talk about the ball a little bit. So
Cool.
obviously, the Baden Strata is your brainchild. Obviously, I mean, those of you watching on video, you can see it's kind of got a couple different aesthetics going on between soccer and basketball. Just quickly, just go over what went into the ball and how that all came about.
Yeah, it was one of those things. So this is back in 2000. I want to say either 16 or 15. I hosted in New York. I hosted Michael Jordan, Neymar shoe collab.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, the hypervenom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
hypervenom.
So I hosted that, and first off, the collision of cultures between basketball and soccer has been happening for so long and is so inevitable. that once that shoe collab happened, nobody really questioned it, right? It was like one of those things,
Makes
like,
sense.
and now you're seeing Jordan.
Bro, Jordan's on a jersey.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Bro, they're the sponsor of PSG.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Like and it looks so dope too.
Yeah.
And it just like the cultures have been colliding for so long. But anyway, so after I hosted that event, I was like, yo, I want a soccer ball with basketball material. That'd be dope. And so I'm just like online, like literally like Googling, like I just wanted one for me. Like, I didn't even want to invent it or anything. And it's weird to even say that, but like I'm looking it up, nothing. Trying to find it, nothing. Couldn't find it anywhere. Right? And so I started getting into like patents back then. Right. So then I hit up my patent attorney and was like, hey, this is what I want. I wanted this and this and this. Like, you know, is this out there? And they did like a whole check and they're like, no. And I was like, give me that. Yeah. So then before I even saw a ball or anything, I went and started on my patent with it. And then, bro, getting this thing made during the pandemic, I'm literally no joke. Like it started out me going through manufacturers in Pakistan. And so I literally was on Google Translate at like 3 a.m. because it's like that's like when they're waking up. So it's like 3 a.m. and my wife could hear me like on speakerphone, and I would literally like press it on the computer, and it would like say what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And so that's how I was like talking to them on the phone, and then I would quickly like switch my phone to like read what they're saying, and then I would type back and then just do the computer back to them, and then we just that's how it started. And then went into emails, and then actually the first ball they ever sent me was like really nice leather. Wasn't this type of leather, and we had been going over this, bro, for like 3 months. I'm not joking. 3 months, and they like were like, hey, we have a surprise for you. It's like arriving today. I was here finally. I get it, and it's like straight up like cowhide leather, and they're like, instead of yours that you wanted, we did nicer leather for you. I'm like, that's really, really nice. You know, I appreciate that, but this is not at all what I wanted.
It's not a display piece.
Damn it, back to point one. So I went there, and I brought the ball to like multiple brands who I can't name now, but like as big of soccer brands as you can kind of think. And I was like, yo, here's my idea. It kind of was getting shut down. And I grew up, like, I don't know if you guys did, like, Baden balls were like some of the first balls I played with. Yeah.
Dodgeball, for sure.
Yeah.
You're getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so actually, somebody from one of the bigger companies was like, hey, like, they got a new CEO. He might be open to it. So I hit him up. And this dude, his name's Jake. He's the CEO of Baden. He is cool as possible. And instantly was like, the second he read my message, I kind of explained what was going on. He was like, let's jump on a call tomorrow. No joke. Literally jump on a call with this guy. And it was like as easy. It was almost like, it was one of those things where you're like, how do people get these things going? And I was thinking that before this ball, where like, how do you get this? How do you get it to a company? It was as easy as like contacting somebody, jumping on a call, having somebody receptive and understanding and like willing to like roll with an idea. And he was like, let's go. Let's put it into production. Let's get it going. And we just like honestly went off and running with it, and it's been pretty crazy since. Yeah.
Shout out to Baden. Yeah, I played college baseball.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're huge.
And
Axe bats.
Axe bats. Shout out to people like we show up with the axe bats, and people are like, yo, what the hell? Like, because like I could not go back to a normal like knob like after that, because I mean it changed the way I played. So I mean, shout out to Baden. They're making innovations. They're
open-minded.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about right now.
Go ahead,
I will say this about the ball too. Here's something that has been like really cool with it, is that I grew up in Long Beach, and in Long Beach, like especially growing up, it was like things were pretty divided, I guess you could say, like racially. And you know, like sports, like it was certain people were playing certain sports, and like, you know what I mean? Like certain demographic and races were playing certain sports. And I think it's because it was just like a stigma and like what people thought that they were supposed to be doing. And it was like Latinos playing soccer, African American kids playing basketball, white kids playing baseball. and it was just like kind of like divided. And the cool thing that I've seen is we've like started working with nonprofits in South Central, and it's been cool to see something that is like familiar for different cultures to be like for Latinos to, you know, even try to shoot. This is not a basketball. This is an official size and weight of an official match ball for soccer. But it's cool to see Latinos be like, hey, I'm going to try to shoot it. Like, I never really tried to play basketball. It's cool to see the African-American kids be like, yo, I never really thought I could play soccer. Like, and soccer was never cool in the U.S. for a long time.
No, it was known as the immigrant sport. Like, your parents have to be from somewhere
like
for you to even play that. Like,
100%.
American kids never really liked it. It was just, where are your parents from? Why are you playing? Like, type of
and
conversation.
growing up, especially in LAUSD, like you would see kids playing with the basketball, but they would be like kicking it to try to make it into the net.
Yes,
that's what I'll be doing.
Me too.
Hey, I was good at it. You had to head it in. Big ass basketball on my head.
Yo, that it hurts.
It
That would hurt.
We were in it for the competition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm good at this.
Like, I'll go cross-eyed for this for a couple days, but
Right.
I'm gonna make that.
Yeah,
No,
concussion
but
protocol.
it's been cool to see like the crossover, and like even with like the younger generation, like you see kids like comfortability with being like, I don't know, looks like something I kind of know. Maybe I'll try soccer, or vice versa. Maybe I'll try basketball. Like, and again, this is not a basketball, but I do like the aspect or the fact that it does like
Makes you think.
it's opening kids' minds, and it's making people feel comfortable to maybe try something that you could be amazing at that you never thought of even really playing. And so it's been cool. I've like really loved that aspect of it.
Yeah, we'll put the links and all that in the show notes and the description, all that stuff to get the Baden Strata. But I mean, just making waves, you know, like that. Hell yeah, that's dope.
Trying to, man.
All right,
Congratulations on that.
Now back to some little soccer. You're Argentinian. How did it feel after 36 years Argentina winning that World Cup? Did you cry? 'Cause I've seen a lot of videos of people just
Tell us.
in
the
tears. How did that feel?
everything.
Like, I was happy, but I'm not Argentinian, so I know it's different type of happy for you.
Bro, I'll show you. So like, look, if you could even see, if it could focus on my phone, maybe it can. These are my grandma's hands holding my ball. And descansa en paz a la reina. But yeah, rest in peace to the queen. She passed recently, and that was my girl, bro. Like, I was straight nieto preferido. And you know, her being from Argentina, like every single game, she'll call me, "Are you watching this?" Like that. And so her passing, and the whole time, like, we go to an Argentine market called Villa Roma. It's in like South Orange County, and that's where she used to watch all of her games. So like, once I got back from Qatar, and I got to be with all my cousins and my mom and everybody, like, we were in this market just going stupid, and like everybody's just like bawling, crying, and like, you know, like this is for our abuelita. We call her Foxy Grammy. That's why she went by. Like, bro.
She was in like one of your music videos.
Yeah,
right?
she did, bro. You've seen
You've seen
how this lady
she's up
rolls.
there.
She does not play like even when it was like towards the end of her amazing, beautiful life. This lady lived 100 lives, but towards the end of her life, there would be like, yo, she had dementia at one point, like couldn't remember my name, but still would remember her nail lady. And we'll call her nail, would text her nail lady, and be like, yo, I need these nails done. I'm not about to be in this home.
Shout out to
Priorities.
Hey,
You
they're
know
the
what?
real ones.
Yeah.
They're the real
You gotta be
ones.
fly. You can't.
She
help
was
it.
never not fly. So, yeah, no, it was cool. So like, answering that, like, this meant more than I ever could have imagined. Like, I could have ever imagined it meaning. Like, like legit, I was just like bawling, bro. Yeah. It was like so much bigger, and that happens so often with soccer, but it was so much bigger than soccer, right? So it was like family, and then I just got back from Argentina not that long ago, and the economy's rough.
Yeah.
And so like, this is so big for the economy and for all my family over there and everything. So it was so much bigger than soccer, but it was just like, bro, beyond emotional.
Yeah. Yes.
What
So
a
what team do
moment.
you go for in Argentina?
So Gallina, River. River. But actually, River and my grandma's from Banfield, which is
Banfield.
Yeah, my grandma's from Banfield. So my mom grew up far, it's called Villegas, General Villegas, and it's like it's deep, bro. It's like all farmland. It's like 5 hours from Buenos Aires, but they all go for Rivera over there. But shout out to Vegas one time too.
Yeah. I'm more of a Boca fan though.
Bro, you want to switch seats?
Hey, let me give you a little backstory real quick on that. My uncle, like Salvadorian guy, his earliest memory from playing soccer was watching Maradona play. So after Maradona, he became the biggest Boca. He has it tatted. Before any Clásico, he's freaking asando gallinas, choripans. Like I'm telling you, he's singing. Like this dude thinks he's in the stadium. He's like, like hey,
the whole thing.
Hey, Libre, decime que se siente. Like, bro, like it's crazy. So every Clásico I go there. Like I remember he cried in La Gran Final when they lost it in Madrid. He was like literally crying. Like, dude, it's not even that serious. Like, but he was crying. So like, yeah, he was a big Maradona fan. So transitions to just being the Boca guy. He's a heavier
super clásico when they played
he's a heavier set guy, so he's like really, really big. Yeah. And he sends he makes his jerseys being made in El Salvador. He like sends money so he can make him like probably put like 30 shirts together.
That's beautiful.
I love that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he gets like every New Jersey, boom, he's on it.
Yeah.
See, but bigger than soccer. Once again.
It's bigger than soccer.
Yeah, for real, for sure. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
But when you were in Qatar, did you get a chance to check out any Argentina games, or was it logistically possible?
Bro, I was working like I got to do some time off, but for the most parts, like these games were happening so late. Like people didn't realize that.
It was like 11 p.m. starts.
It was like 10, 11 p.m. starts. And sometimes it was playing at the same time that I was in stadiums, either rehearsing or having to do meetings or having to do that. So I didn't get to go into the stadium for an Argentina game. But bro, and my wife is born and raised in Mexico, so she's from Oaxaca, and we like had this thing going the whole time, even on Instagram. Where we're like, yo, we're divorced for a day,
right?
Like,
after that game,
there's.
I saw you at the fan fest screaming the goals.
Oh yeah.
After that game,
I can see why you're divorced for a day.
I'm sure she didn't talk to you after that game.
Oh, it was so crazy, but we were having so much fun with it, and I'm like walking around with an Argentina jersey. She's walking around with her Mexico jersey, and people are even like looking at us like, "What are y'all doing together? How are you doing this right now?" But I knew it was gonna happen after Argentina. The best thing that could have happened to Argentina was losing to Saudi Arabia in that first game.
Messi, where you at?
Like, Who's Messi? And even that guy later, he's like, I found Messi.
Yeah,
that was great.
No, that was great.
Messi found us.
Yeah. Messi found you.
Yeah.
No, but it was cool. I got to watch, and I only got the second half of that game because I got out of a rehearsal and then raced to this like viewing party. And and my wife and I were just going stupid over there. We were like just yelling, going crazy, but like
they had a couple of chances to put it away. They had a couple of chances.
The second half was the best half, though.
Yeah.
When Messi scored that goal too, it was like, all right, stop playing with this man. He's this guy's mad.
And the thing about Mexicans and Argentinian fans are both like kind of crazy type of fans. It can
not kind of.
Crazy. So like any little thing can spark things off, and it can go real left field real quick.
Yo, you know what I didn't know is I didn't know how much like Argentinians and Mexicans like politically like love each other.
Oh, really?
Like in Argentina, we were there, and it was Dia de Independencia for Mexico. And actually, my wife and I, we live half our week in LA, half our week in Mexico right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, we're in TJ. So we're like on the coast in TJ. And it was funny because we went to Argentina, and there's mariachi. Everybody, like even all the Argentinos are in the street. Viva Mexico, carajo! Like just going hard for Mexico. And my wife was like almost like in tears, just like, what? I did not expect this. We got back to TJ. We're like, yo, how crazy was it over here? They're like, we didn't do anything. I was like, what? I'm like, yo, Argentina's going stupid. No, but it's cool though. The relationship is really cool.
Yeah, and the Mexico fans traveled well to Qatar.
Yeah, they did.
Wow,
It was loud in those stadiums.
When I tell you that it was probably like, I'm not even going to exaggerate. This is how it felt, at least. It felt like it was like 60% Mexico fans and like 40%
rest of the
everybody
world.
else.
Yeah. No,
It was
Mexicans,
crazy.
We'll be broke, bro, but there's a soccer game. What? I'm going to be there.
But
what?
look,
World Cup? What?
Mexicans make their money back selling
Hey,
tequila at the
listen,
stadium. There was
Bruh.
no alcohol.
Never making
Hey,
it.
find yourself a Mexican
Oh
friend.
my goodness, bro.
You ain't about
Making it in the stadium.
Coca-Cola cans.
They have no idea.
Listen, this is why
Qatar?
we are hustlers. We make things happen.
Bro, Qatar, there's only a few places you could get alcohol.
Talk to us about that. I wanna
Mexican
know.
village.
Yeah.
The Mexican section. The Mexican fan section.
No, but talk about that, because that was obviously a big talking point. Was like
Yeah.
people getting,
It was wild.
Tell
Yeah,
us.
It was wild.
yeah.
It's only
Spill
in
the
it's
tea.
only in certain hotels, and it's only in certain restaurants in certain hotels. Like there's no bars in a random place or anything like that. Fan Fest had Budweiser or whatever, but it's like you're not drink. I mean, sorry,
Bud Light. Hey, shut up, Bud Light. Bud
Yeah,
Light.
Budweiser's fine, but just to like
We're
as
doing
your
it for
only
fun, yeah.
only drink you're doing to be chugging like Bud Heavy is not
yeah.
not it. And so yeah, we found like certain places that were cool. Like my wife and I would just go like to a pit stop, and the first one we went to, I wanted to get a margarita, so I was like, "Yo, can I get a margarita?" They were like, "Oh yeah." And this is how I knew that people don't know about alcohol in Qatar. So they came over with a martini glass with like what looked like a thick Slurpee. Like it wasn't even like a blended margarita. It was like
Oh my
a full
gosh.
like thick thing. They gave me a martini glass, a spoon, and a blended like Slurpee looking thing. And I was like the only person eating my drink.
It's a sorbet.
I was like, you know what?
Sorbet.
we might need to switch to something else on this. So yeah, but no, it's like very few and far between. So nobody's really drinking out there. It's like very illegal to if you're drunk at all,
In
or
public.
even if you're like buzzed in public, like you're in trouble.
That's why I didn't go.
Did you see anyone?
Why?
Did you see anyone like get arrested for that?
I didn't personally see somebody get arrested, but like nobody's really playing that. Like nobody was. I didn't see anybody drunk at
Locked
all.
up
Like
abroad, man. That's no joke.
No.
like, and I mean, here's a crazier thing. So it's illegal for a man and a woman to be alone in a room at any time if you're not married. So
That's what I heard.
my wife gets there. We have different last names just because
right.
it's 2023 and
Yeah, of course.
so we have different last names, and she gets there and they're like, no, she can't go in your apartment. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, like you're not married. She has a different last name. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, like in the US, it's a little different. You don't have to take the last name. And
Bro, do you see this ring, man? Like,
Yeah, like look at my Instagram. This is our wedding right here.
bro, so listen to this. I had to show a video of our wedding.
No way.
I had to show a video of our wedding to prove we were married so that she can come in. So they let her into my apartment.
that's crazy.
And then, yeah. And so I did that. And that's how they finally let her into my apartment.
Damn.
But there's a million things like that, like
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't even know.
Did you have to do like the
I
tracking
don't even know
app?
how it is now.
Did
Like,
you do the app thing, like where they tracked you?
That's what I was going to say. So I'm like literally looking at my phone, like,
Right.
are y'all listening to me right now?
Can you hear me?
Hey, don't be in this anymore.
Right,
No,
right.
but yeah, crazy stuff was happening. So like when you download the app that you need to get your visa, apparently, and I could be wrong in this. This is just what I heard. Apparently you give access to your phone so that they can go into your phone, right? So I had a couple videos that no.
Why is that? No, play.
You know what? Somebody get this guy. You're right.
Like,
You know what?
I'm
Dry
in the middle
January
of
is
the
done for
story,
him.
man. Come
Like,
on.
we're all
bad.
into it.
So long story short, I had videos of inside the stadium on my phone, and I woke up the next day and they're off my phone, and I had sent them to like a couple friends and family that deleted out of my text message message thread. Yeah, and I was like, yo, what? I'm like, oh, they're like going through my phone right now.
So did you delete the app? So did you have to have the app there, or did you delete
need
it?
for everything.
Really?
You need it for any restaurant you go to. You need it for anything like that.
That's
And then
insane.
maybe a lot of you guys know him. He's like a really good friend of mine. He was also on a team I was called after I was. I'm not talking trash Budweiser, but after I was on a team called Budweiser Football Kings, it was with this guy named Frankie Flo. He's
Yeah. He's in New York, right?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
He's an amazing dude, and he's like he was hired to be an influencer at the World Cup.
Oh wow.
He gets there and goes to the first game, films in the U.S. This gets crazy. So he films the U.S. Wales game, and he films me because I was like hosting, and then he's like filming stuff in the game and doing like his influencer thing. Bro, he wakes up the next day, his Instagram account is completely deleted, like gone.
What? His whole account?
Whole account is gone. Like contact on Instagram, nobody could get it back. No, it's gone. So he was like, yo, like that's crazy.
Because he was filming it inside the stadium. So they wouldn't let you film it in the stadiums.
So he goes and he's like, I had videos of you that I was posting too. And he's like, here. And he airdrops them to me. Bro, like 2 hours later, I go to like send it to my wife. I'm like, oh, like, Frankie got cool videos of me. And I go to send it. Off my phone, completely gone. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, Frankie, don't text me anymore, bro. Like, they're watching us.
I'm trying to keep my Instagram.
They on us.
No, but he got his Instagram back though.
Insane.
So
That's
people
crazy.
go follow Frankie Flo. That's my dog.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So he ended up like going home early. He had to go home early because like he was there to do influencer stuff.
And
And he didn't have an Instagram.
like, what are you supposed to do?
That's his whole job.
And so, yeah, I felt so bad for him, but I'm so happy that he got it back. But to answer your question, like that's how crazy it was. I'll go in a little deeper too. Is like, as you know, being gay in Qatar is like a super huge thing. It was very controversial. But I didn't know this. So I was really, really confused. I didn't know in Middle Eastern culture that like all these guys hold hands. Like friends hold hands and walk around. I didn't know that. And I was like walking around like, ooh, you're about to get in trouble.
I'm telling.
No, I'm not telling. I'm like, yo, I can care less. I'm like, I love it. I'm all about love. So you know it. But
Wait, how are they holding hands like this?
No,
Or
like
interlocking
full
it?
finger lock.
Oh, okay, cool.
Full finger lock. Like, dude, people leaving like a restaurant, like just friends, just full finger lock, walking. I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
That's
like,
beautiful.
It is beautiful
Yeah,
though.
beautiful.
Like it is beautiful. But then, so guys could hold hands, but it's like very illegal to be gay. But then I couldn't hold hands with my wife.
Oh.
Because there's no PDA whatsoever. So there's like, no holding hands with your wife or anything like that. I saw Chad Ochocinco got detained for like an hour or two for kissing his girlfriend when she arrived at the airport. Like there's some wild aspects to it. But that being said, Qatar is beautiful, man. Like, and like the people are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Definitely the cleanest country by far I've ever been to. There are so many beautiful aspects that like it felt like a movie. Like the markets, I was like, I'm walking through Aladdin right now. Like it literally, like it looked like a movie. I was like, this is crazy to see like how beautiful so many aspects of it were. So yeah, there are some laws that we're not used to over here that are like very strict, but in general, like it was beautiful and the people were beautiful and like the atmosphere of being close to every stadium, like that's never happened at a World Cup where you could be close to every single stadium. Like that was beautiful. So aside from the little bits bit of I guess strict rules, like it was.
So have you been to other World Cups as well?
That was my first World Cup game I ever went to.
Wow.
I got to host it. And
That's
crazy.
That was pretty cool.
That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
If I'm not working, I'm not going.
Yeah. I had friends before and said it was still fun, but it was not as fun as like Russia or Brazil.
Well, yeah, because
Right.
people are
Yeah.
drinking.
You
Yeah.
can't-
That's what it was. I
That's
think
the
that's what it
biggest
was.
thing.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
What about like food? Did you try anything?
Food
out
was
there?
bomb.
Yeah.
So like I like Middle Eastern food in general. So food was
top
bomb for me.
tier cuisine.
Yo, when I'm
top
getting,
tier
if
cuisine.
you give me a plate of lamb and hummus and I'll watch it disappear.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
No, I love the food there. The food was bomb. The colors are amazing. Like it was cool. And like to see, also that was another thing is like with other World Cups, people are so far from each other, right? Like they're in other cities and having to fly different places. Like everybody's in one spot here. And like I didn't see anything resembling a fight or altercation or anything like that. Like everyone's just excited, happy to be together, happy to be outside, and like it was cool.
Yeah, because if there was a fight, they'd be deleting it from people's phones too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they're not-
You ain't gonna see
yeah.
it.
World Star.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
there's
have
no
seen it
World
on
Star
World
Qatar
Star.
edition.
Yeah.
Qatar's on it. They're like, no.
Yeah, they were on it for sure. But no, it felt very safe. Like my wife walked home at like 1:30 in the morning because these games were late, and I would still have to be there doing like the end of the game stuff. And then so she walked home 1:30 in the morning. She's like, I've never felt so safe in my life. Like it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you get a chance? So there's like the fan village, right? Where like if you weren't staying in the hotel, you could stay. And there's like kind of like, I mean, it looked like a little fire festy, you know, it was last minute type deals.
Yeah.
Ja Rule was there somewhere.
Like
Yeah.
expectations.
Where's Ja? Where's Ja?
Yeah, I went by it. It was fire festy.
It was
sure.
Spartan.
Yeah.
It was.
And they were charging ridiculous for those.
Ridiculous.
Bro.
Amount for those little sheds.
Yeah, and then people were waiting in line. Like we met a lot of people that were staying there, and I had to wait in line for like 7 hours just to get in.
No.
To get in, like
Just get to their key to their room.
You mean their little tent?
They're half a shipping.
I'm surprised they
container.
had keys.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was wild. Like it was like I felt like I was on a whole different planet for sure.
Right.
I bet.
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's like one of a kind experience.
You know what? And that's what, like, it started out kind of being like, wait, this is strict, this is that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to own this and like enjoy every moment of it. Cause I'm like, you know, this is never going to, you know, in my lifetime, probably going to be here again. And then, you know, like this type of like experience of the stadiums are so close. And it was cool. Like it was really cool, really interesting for sure.
And you were a host.
And I got to host. And that was crazy, dude. Like,
What was that feeling like to be like on the field hosting, just bringing that energy to a stadium full of like multiple people?
Fanatics.
Because the World Cup energy is different. Not
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of people
different.
get to experience on the field
different.
World Cup energy.
Yeah.
it was like, bro, it was like hard. You know what? This is going to sound super cheesy, but like I had multiple moments where I was like, yo, don't cry right now.
Aw.
Like for real. Cause it was
Just
like,
choking up.
it like, you know, like when you're in situations like that, it's like not even hosting, like even when you're in the crowd and that you're like, this is like emotional kind of like, this is like, there's some energy with this that's like magical. So to be able to like kind of bring that and then have like people respond the way they did was just like unreal. And then I got to do something cool on, this wasn't on TV, so you didn't get to see, but it was USA versus England. And they kind of like gave me a little bit of free reign. And I was like, all right, everybody like take a breath. And I was like, and you can hear the stadium just like, and even just hearing that, I was like, well, that. and then I was like, all right, I know we're going to battle right now, but if there's one thing we can decide on, or we can agree on, this is a good song. DJ hit it, and he played Sweet Caroline. And I went just to the U.S. fans. I'm like, U.S. fans only. And they're like, Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. And then, like, and it was just like, like the DJ cut it, and you could just hear like 40,000 people just screaming. I'm like, all right, U.S. fans, you done? And then I ran over to the England side. Ba, ba, ba. It was really cool.
That's
So there was a lot
crazy.
of like fun moments like that. And my wife had never seen me host in a stadium before. So she got there, she was like, what is going on
Who
right now?
are you?
Whose husbands is this?
Whose man's is this?
I will say maybe I'm being a hater. I don't mess with Sweet Caroline. That's not my jam. That's not my jam.
I've
That's not my jam.
experienced it
I'm gonna
at Boston, at the Boston Stadium, at the Red Sox.
well
Yeah.
Sick.
right in a stadium setting, right, when you have the fans going ba 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 whatever. That I mean, I could
That's the
see
purpose. You don't
the
like that
appeal for
song?
that.
That's
But
the
if I'm
purpose
gonna,
of
if
it.
I'm not gonna be like, yo, throw on that Sweet Caroline. Like I'm not gonna listen.
Bro, you're
like-
about to get in your car,
Hey, look,
turn
this
it
is-
on. He's like, well, the podcast was good. I'm blue, da 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 da. Stop it. That's a good song.
I'm just saying, man. When it plays at like a bar or whatever, I just need to take a step outside. Like, you know, like it's not my thing. But I get it. I understand.
All right, what's your type of music?
Ramsey does it for the rat.
No, but the thing is though,
Bunny fan.
no, the thing is though, I mean,
Conejo Malo.
I love classic rock though. I love like, you know, like that's, but maybe it's just because I've heard it so many times. Like, I mean, playing baseball, like they would play that like every 8th inning. Like,
Okay, so you heard it too many
so
times.
maybe that's what it is. But I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not my jam. Okay. But I'm not saying that. Like, that I will just leave it there, I guess. But
You're getting emotional about this.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
hate,
getting
no,
emotional.
you don't not like
so
it. You
Yes,
hate
I
that
know
song.
why I
His high school sweetheart played that song.
Her name was Caroline.
He was like,
Her name was
Caroline.
She
broke
my
his heart.
and
Left
you know, it
him.
just hasn't been the same.
Who hurt
My
you,
life
bro?
hasn't been the same.
For-
Caroline.
Who hurt you? It was
Caroline.
Caroline heard it.
Caroline, ultimate red flag if your name is Caroline.
He doesn't
Shout out
even
to the
like
Carolines out
He
there,
doesn't even
no,
like the Outcast song like Big Boy.
Really?
Anything with Caroline in it, like
Roses?
not like
You don't like Roses from
Hates
Outkast?
roses.
Roses, the Amine song, trash, like all that stuff.
He doesn't like
I'm
Roses,
playing.
the flower.
I'm playing.
Nothing.
No, but I know you have a heart out, so this has been amazing time. But you got work to do.
Vegas.
Yeah, he's on his way. Like he's
Vegas
doing the
tonight.
Cannonball
Vegas,
Run. We're in LA right now. He's going to Vegas tonight. This man does not
He just
like.
don't
He's
stop.
not rest. His hustle is
The
there.
hustle is there.
Still here, baby. We're
yeah,
still going.
yeah, he's doing it.
2023, as long as I get to, be lucky enough to be alive, I'm going to keep cruising. So
That's
what's
what's
up.
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming on. I mean, we seen you at the base. Shout out to the base association, all that stuff, doing the music, doing the Baden Strata. We'll put the link in the bio, in the show notes, in the description where you can cop the ball. But we're excited to see more of you come 2023, 2024, and beyond. Really appreciate y'all being here for Julio Matarosa, Devin Kirtz, Bridget Flores. I'm Ramsey Abushala. This has been the Urban Pitch Podcast. Keep it tuned in. We got more stuff coming up in 2023. But until then, we'll catch y'all next time.
We out.
appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.